Before that, let's get into some of my other notes. Actually, I in fact have covered all of my notes. Right, so ahead of the gate, we gotta say that there's gonna be spoilers for the grand finale of Octopath Traveler here. And before anything else, I just want to go into the fact that yeah, I kind of just didn't have fun in the last hour or so of trying to finish off the secret boss at the end. And at that point, I was just like, what's the point of doing this if I'm not having fun? I looked up strategies, I looked up all that, and even they depend at least a little bit on the RNG a bit, which I'm not especially happy with having to hope that the game just randomly decides, oh yeah, you're not going to instantly get killed. And that's not something I want to bet on. And then have to go and fight through 8 bosses again without being able to save. I'm half tempted to install a mod that lets me save after you beat the 8 bosses. That way you can just do let's see, Galdera, that's it. Because I don't know if Galdera might be said out loud once by LeBlanc, his daughter. But from what I saw, uh, Galdera isn't voiced, and that's another thing. I was like, yeah, I'm about to play Morrowind after I get through another game, and that's mostly unvoiced. But it just feels like they really dropped the ball in the last segment. Because as my notes ahead of me say, right, the story bits that you get from defeating the boss shades, those little shadowy dudes that are all the bosses from the Chapter 4 stories, those are pretty neat. A couple made me tear up a little bit, but the main characters don't really talk about it, which is funny, because I remember people talking about, yeah, they get together and kind of find out and then go off and do the thing, without going into too many details. But I'm just like, yeah, that didn't happen, unless people were mistaking the second game stuff for the first game stuff. And so I'm just sort of left here being like, it's not really worth it to me to do the secret final boss, because it's just like, in the time it'll take me to go through and just play through it, grind a bit more, get my characters higher level, and then come back and do all that. In the time it takes to do that, I can just make the big long form video I planned for this game. Which is just like, at that point, I might as well just do that. Like, the game basically is already beaten. Like, I can just go and watch what happens afterwards. Like, player input doesn't matter. It's not like other games where it's like the way I beat it matters, right? It's not like there's a choice at the end. So yeah, I'm just going to go ahead, and after I record this, I'm going to begin work on the script for the long form video. Before that, let's get into some of my other notes. Actually, I in fact have covered all of my notes. So I guess for the rest of this, I'll just talk about. Let's see. I didn't expect to get through literally all of my notes, but there's not a whole lot of meat to the fight. In fact, I'm half tempted just to include footage of the fight for this video, but at the same time, it's sort of like, oh, I'll have to make it so that like the beginning says it's spoilers and all that. But I'm just sitting here and I'm like, man, I some of the problems I've discussed before about grinding has come up, and it's just like, yeah, JRPGs aren't really my genre. I prefer stories that I can have impact on, and characters that interact with each other, and just in general, I mean, there's small story bits in this game, and I do love the idea of a game that doesn't have a huge plot going on. I like the idea of a lot of smaller stories, but they don't have. They still tried to have the whole, oh yeah, there is like an overarching story going on as well, but I don't think they handled it well. I've heard the second game handles it a bit better, but I've also heard that they still don't really interact with each other all that much. And that's a downer. Hopefully with a third game, if they get a third game, they'll be able to. I don't even know how you would do it, because it would almost have to be there's having to get all 8 of the protagonists together into a party and have them have meaningful interactions is just really hard to do if there's no central character, right? They'd have to do additional scenes and writings for, like, oh, if this is your starting character and you've got to complete their story before they can be swapped out for another one, then all of the characters would interact with them as if they were the central figure, and it's all dependent upon them. And that's a lot of writing and a lot of coverage that I don't think the developers would have time and budget for. So I don't really know a good way to fix the issues that remain with these games and their stories. The individual stories, yeah, are beautiful, but I just wish they. It's it's when you take apart a game, right? You break it down to the sounds, to the visuals, to the writing, to the gameplay itself. Is it like the ship of Theseus, where you could take the story out of these and put them into a game that can handle them better? And I don't know if you can. It's one of those. It's not even quite the. It's actually, yeah. It almost is like the. Oh, I can't even think of the term for it right now. Where it's like the sum of its parts. The sum of the what is it? The sum of the whole is worth more than the parts. So basically, the individual parts of this game are fantastic. But when you put it all together and then you present it to me like this, I'm like, I don't know, man. I feel like you could have done better. And it's the first try for this little series, the Octopath Traveler series. I'm hoping it's more than just the two of them. But yeah, I'm just kind of sitting here and I'm like, nah, man. I mean, I can see in the footage, and I showed it to my roommate, you can see where I'm just sort of staring at the screen because I stopped moving around the menu, and I'm just like, there's no reasonable amount of time in which I could beat this boss with how the fight is going because of the way that the boss fight is structured. For reference, in case I don't show the footage, and in case you don't. What are the chances that you are interested in Octopath Traveler, but you don't know anything about the main boss? The main, like, villain dude. Anyway, just for the sake of talking about it, the part that I was like, man, I don't fucking want to deal with this. That part was when the big eyeball half of the fight, which is the first segment, where half of your crew gets to fight them, so 4 people. If you so he releases 3 meaty spirit boys that just kind of hang around and do all kinds of shenanigans towards you, sort of as like little minions. If like any of them are out, you can't damage the eyeball, the big boss dude. So it's like, okay, so you just gotta take them all out. Well, actually, if you don't take them all out at the same time, he can bring back the ones that you took out, but not if one of them is left over, because it turns out you broke them incorrectly. They'll just come back and you just can't get to them. And so I'm just like, man, I truly just don't have it in me. I just don't. I don't have it in me to grind and to follow the guide where it's like you have to have these characters and these specific jobs, and then you have to have these side jobs, and then you have to have them. Well, I mean, I guess, yeah, the side jobs are only jobs you can really choose for the characters because they have the regular jobs baked in. And then you have to have certain gear, and it's just like, and on top of all that, you have to get kind of lucky because I guess he has an insta-kill move, and it's just like, if he chooses the wrong person and you got the wrong order in the turn order, you get the wrong order for your little dudes, you're just screwed. And it's like, I don't have it in me. Like, I gotta go play a game about Wrong one. Different trans girl game. Next game I'm doing is about a girl who wants to go to the spa, but there's discrimination. So anyway, until I wrap up the long form for Octopath, I'll keep releasing these sort of videos of Octopath, but then I'm gonna switch over and do Morrowind. And with those, I'll probably talk about lore, because I can easily go into lore about more about the Elder Scrolls. Man, I could do that for a couple of months easily. Anyway, hope you have a good one. Maybe one day I'll go back and beat Galdera, but it's like I don't know. It's I'll have to install a mod that lets me save because that's just the one because the way I record, right? The amount of time it takes to beat the bosses is about the amount of time that I take to record, and I don't want to extend how long I record my footage. So yeah, have fun.